Hi, everyone, and welcome to our first full episode of How the Wise One Grows.
Everybody's learning, everybody's growing, everybody's got to start somewhere. How the wise one grows, how the wise one grows.
I invite you now to join me in starting this podcast the way I like to start everything, and that's with 3 deep breaths. So wherever you are, take a moment to notice where your body touches the earth. And if it feels safe, you can rest your eyes. Please don't rest your eyes if you're driving. And take a big inhale in through your nose. Feel your chest and your belly fill with air. And exhale, open your mouth, let it out. 2 more like this. Inhale, the chest, the belly expand. Exhale, open your mouth, let it all out. 1 more big inhale. And exhale. And now you can slowly open your eyes as you return to this space around you. Thank you for doing that with me. I personally feel better now. That always helps me get started. So most of you listening right now likely already know me personally. But today I'm going to hold some space to introduce myself to those who might not know me yet and share why this podcast is moving through your ears right now. My name is Holly Zazier, and something that I have gotten really good at during the pandemic, like super secret cool skill here, is talking to myself. I have done it a lot in the last 2 years, so I thought, why not take it to the next level by shutting myself in a dark, small closet to talk to myself? Yes, that's where I am. I feel like I'm in a Harry Potter closet. I don't necessarily hate it. But the reason I am so very good at talking to myself, thanks to the last 2 years, is because I share mental and physical wellness support, primarily through yoga and mindfulness practices, through my company that I started, Connect Wellness. So I mostly sit in a room with cameras on me and talk to myself and teach, and I pretend that you're on the other end listening. And when I get to have actually people engage on the other end, it makes my day. So there are a lot of windy roads and lots of listening deep inside that got me here today. And I feel myself coming up around another bend. So I figured I would take you all with me this time as my road twists again. A brief background of me is that I am a Lebanese Mexican-American blend, still kind of figuring out all the parts of my heritage. And my forever favorite age was 7. It was the coolest. That was around the age when I refused to brush my hair. I played in the mud, and I wrote a really wise poem about a weeping willow tree. Hopefully I can find it and read it to you sometime. But that was honestly me in my truest state. And from about that age, but honestly earlier, I have experienced anxiety. There weren't really words for it at the time when I was growing up, at least that were used in my space. I just knew that my stomach hurt so bad all the time. I could barely finish a full meal, and anytime I went to a sleepover, my big sister Jada had to come, or I'd call home crying. So shout out to all my friends who let my sister come to all of our sleepovers. I barely made it through kindergarten because I would cry to come home every day. We went to doctors, they did all the tests, and we never had a clear answer. At the time, anxiety was never used as a word to describe it, but I do have one memory of a doctor asking me if I felt nervous. And it didn't make sense to me then, but I think that was my first little inkling of a mind-body connection. Eventually, I got the courage to make it through kindergarten and even a few sleepovers. And then we'll fast forward to college, where I ended up attending the University of Virginia, and I hated it so very much. I never felt at ease or connected there. It was not my space, but it did push me to delve into my studies and onto my yoga mat. I got my yoga teacher training before my 4th year of college, and I've been teaching yoga ever since. Post-college, I ran away to Nashville with my best friend, Emma. She tricked me into helping move her in for a weekend, and then I just conveniently extended my stay for about 9 months. Emma is my very best friend, or as I like to call her, or we call each other, my limb, and you will hear her music in this podcast for an intro to come, so stay tuned. She's amazing. So eventually, I made my way back to Richmond. I found myself working at a yoga nonprofit and teaching ceramics at an arts organization. So I was back in my hometown and eventually made the leap to start my own business. And that's where Connect Wellness started. That was fun. So I sit here in the dark, married to the person who endlessly tries to make me laugh and helps pull me out of my head, Will, and with the best little golden retriever girl in the world, Luna. And I feel my road twisting again. And it's scary. This leads me to where we are today and the origins of this podcast, based on a conversation with my therapist. So one day, my therapist and I were talking about growth, the ways I've grown in the past, the ways in which I'd like to reframe growth now. And as I'm upon this twist, right? I'm in a phase where I kind of want to shift my business a little. I'm focusing on writing my first book and exploring other outlets in which to share my voice, this podcast being one of them. And I'm toggling with the balance of wanting to see things bloom, like wanting to see my imagination and my dreams come true, and wanting to do it in a new way. I have a history, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, of pushing so hard and doing so many things and defining my worth by my work. I love seeing results. I love growth. I get a big old dopamine hit when I check off boxes on a to-do list. And I'm in a space where I am not interested in doing that anymore. It doesn't serve the most authentic part of me. I do not want to move from a stressed state every single day. I don't want to work so hard that I burn out. I don't want to tap out my nervous system and run on adrenaline till my resources are depleted. I don't want to be so tense all the time that I deny myself the fullness of my life. I want to give myself permission to rest, to exhale, to calm my nervous system and move from a place of peace and intention, and achieve my dreams. So I am rambling on and on about this and these things to my therapist, and she just gently says, well, how would a wise one grow? Make some art around that. So I find myself here in the dark talking to myself today because my therapist told me to. It's made me think a lot, and I have explored a lot of art mediums around this. But I keep coming back to something that I really believe, which is that we all have a wise one inside of us. If we learn how to listen to it, we can foster it and grow in a way that honors the depth of our souls. How the Wise One grows is a space to learn, to listen, and to grow the wise one inside of you. And I'll be learning and growing right alongside. For me, right now, growing wisely looks like going to the soil, tending seeds, moving slowly, nurturing, establishing roots, and trusting, having faith that with time, the flowers will bloom, the right ones will, the ones that are the most authentic part of me. So I invite you to get to know the wise one inside of you and let it guide you. So I'll leave you with a poem from my upcoming book and a mindfulness practice that can give you some space to get to know your wise one too. So if you have a few moments, again, notice where your body touches the earth. Take a big breath in. And exhale, let it out. You can gently rest your eyes or soften your gaze at a point in front of you. And scan your body from head to toe. And just notice the sensations present for you here. There's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. You're just getting familiar with and acknowledging what already is. And now notice where in the body you feel the breath. And gently rest your awareness on that point. Life is not a test. Unclench your jaw. Take a deep breath. Choose to move from a place of rest. Inhale and exhale. So I'm going to leave you with a little practice that you can give a try, maybe right now, maybe tomorrow morning, whenever you get a chance. But I'd like you to write down a list of 5 things that you hate doing, that you have to do today. And then write 5 things that you love doing. And I want you to replace one of those things that you hate doing with one of the things that you love doing for 10 minutes today. And just soak it in, notice how it feels, and enjoy it. Little by little, we can start to bring more little sparkles of joy into our lives. So that is all for now. And until our next episode, where we'll have our first guest, which is so cool, let's just keep on taking it one breath at a time.
Everybody's learning. Everybody's growing. Everybody's got to start somewhere. How the wise one grows. How the wise one grows.
Thank you all for taking time to pause and listen to the wise one inside of you today. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast to help it grow. Until the next time, let's keep taking it one breath at a time.